What's going on, everybody? It's Tommy from StarLens, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys why this Sony 70-200 F2.8 G Master lens needs to be in your camera bag and why it's my favorite lens I own. Today is February 26th at 1:20 p.m. here in New Jersey, and it is absolutely beautiful outside. It is like a nice 60 degrees. Now, I know to my people down south and out west that doesn't seem too warm, but we've been dealing with some brutal weather. But yeah, it has been like in the 20s for the past couple months, and 60 degrees feels like it's like 80 degrees. So it's kind of crazy. I'm really happy to be showing off my favorite lens. Right off the rip, this is not a sponsored video. This is just me purely showing you guys the lens that pretty much changed everything for me. Now let's talk about something that's just really right off bat. When you hold this lens, you can feel the value in it. I know that sounds silly, but it's really well made. It's heavy, it's got some durability feel to it. Now I know there's some videographers and photographers that don't like the weight on their camera, and you know, it does get a little tiring holding this all day at, like, let's say a wedding. I personally do enjoy a little bit of weight to a lens because it kind of adds a little bit of stability when I'm filming. When I have something that's so light, it kind of moves around a lot with any sort of movement that I do, where if it's something heavy, it kind of has a little bit more stability to it. Autofocus, manual focus, you can change the autofocus range. This lens has in-body stabilization, so you can turn that on and off right there. Now, this is the Sony E-mount full frame version, and this is the G Master 1. I know there is a G Master 2. We'll get there. I recently bought this lens for myself, but I have been renting this lens for like around 2 years now, and I love it so much. Now, this lens will run you around $2,000 brand new at the moment as of February of 2025. I purchased this on eBay in January of this year, and I got it for around $1,500. It was basically brand new, open boxed. Definitely, if you're gonna buy lenses, I recommend using eBay to buy them. You don't need a lens that's brand new. Just make sure when you are buying a lens off eBay that you're buying from a trusted and the right seller. Go on eBay, look at the reviews. I bought this from a Japanese lens store that had like 98,000 products sold. So you just gotta pay attention to who you're buying from on eBay. But you can go on eBay and get things like, I saved probably about $500 by doing that. I'm gonna be showing you guys exactly what this lens can do. We're gonna be showing how this lens excels in low light situations, the zooming of this lens, the bokeh of this lens, and honestly, just the overall quality of this lens in regards to photography and videography. Now, I am pairing up my Sony 70-200 lens with my Sony A7 III. Make sure you guys stick around to the end of this video because I am dropping a lot of gems in this video about this lens and how you guys can get your camera business started, how you guys can make money with this lens without even owning it. This is my happy place right here, at the shore, on the beach, with the boardwalk in the back. I'll show you guys more of the boardwalk in a little bit. I have a lot planned that I'm gonna be doing down the shore this summer, so hopefully you guys are into the beach as much as I am. There's gonna be a lot of beach videos this summer, and I can't wait. Cue the montage of what this lens can do here in Wildwood, New Jersey. Shout out to those birds for putting on an absolute show for me. But yeah, that was a perfect example on how you guys can use this lens even for wildlife photography / videography. We are here now with a different background. This ride behind me is called the Nor'easter. Throughout this video, I'm just gonna be showing you guys a little bit of Wildwood, a little bit of my favorite place to come, and where I'm gonna be all summer filming content for this channel. So I'm currently filming this frame right here at 70 millimeters, so as far zoomed out as the lens could possibly be. I'm standing about 10 to 15 yards away from the camera. However, look at the quality of this lens. It's absolutely beautiful. Right now we are shooting at an f2.8. I am using an ND filter on this lens today for this video because it is a very bright day. There is not a single cloud around. I did an entire video on this ND filter that I'm using. So if you guys are curious which one it is, just click on my channel. It was 2 videos ago and boom, there you guys go. Now, most of everything on this boardwalk is closed right now because this is the off season. It's winter right now. Especially my favorite pizza place. I thought it was gonna be open today, but it turns out they're only open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But I mean, how could you be mad with where I am today? Now, I told you guys that there's a way that you can have this lens in your camera bag to do a camera job and not actually own it. Let's get into that. Let's have a little sit down. So how are you able to use this lens in this video at a job without owning it? Well, this is what I'm gonna tell you. Early on, when I got my first wedding jobs and my first sports photography and videography jobs, I went on Google and I searched, what's the best lens that you could use for this? Because obviously I had a wide angle lens from my travel channel and I didn't have anything that had a good zoom, and I figured I kind of needed a good zoom. I was greeted with this lens on Google, and honestly, the internet could not have been more right. So if you're a videographer and a photographer and you have a good camera body, but you want to try out different lenses and you don't really have all this money to spend, and you have a camera job, but you don't really have this lens here, nor do you have $2,000 to put out, this is the sauce that I'm about to give you guys. So I went on Google and I searched, how can I rent this lens? And I was greeted with a bunch of websites, Lens Pro to Go, Borrow Lenses, Lens Rentals, a whole bunch of websites out there. Find the one that works for you guys. Now let's get into the real details on renting this lens and how you can use it to your benefit. So when you do go on these websites, basically how it works is you pick how many days you want to rent these lenses. Usually I would do about 5 days. I would give myself a day or two before the event to make sure that shipment isn't delayed and that it comes in early enough, so I'm not waiting till last second. God forbid there's a delay in shipment and now you don't have a lens for the wedding. So because I also make music, I would also plan a music video based around the 5 days that I have the lens. I would be running around. I would pay around $100, $150 to rent this lens for almost a week. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but when I'm doing a camera job like a wedding and I'm making, you know, over $1,000 to do the wedding, now you're starting to see the profit opportunity that you can have with renting this lens. This is a perfect way to kind of know if you want to go ahead and buy the lens yourself. This is a great way to be able to have this lens, practice with this lens, not spend $2,000 and get jobs. Use this lens. I think it is a super, super valuable tool that everybody needs to know. Now, this lens is absolutely perfect for these scenarios. Best 2 scenarios for me are weddings and sports. This lens is the lens you need for both of those things. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, during a wedding, I hardly ever switch to my wide angle lens. The only time I really switch to my wide angle lens when there's a big party or a lot of people, then I kind of switch to my wide angle so everybody fits in frame. This lens stays on my camera through an entire wedding and it does the perfect job. It allows you to get up and close and personal in times where you don't want to be up close and personal. Now, when you have a bride and a groom in their most special moment of their lives, and everybody they love around them, the last thing you want to be is up in their face like your TMZ. These are some examples that I've done of weddings in the past, and like I said, this lens is just absolutely fantastic for weddings and I cannot recommend it anymore. The next thing I want to mention is sports. Now, obviously, as a sports photographer or videographer, you cannot be on the court, you cannot be on the field, you are not playing the game, so you are on the sidelines, you are in the bleachers, you are in the penalty box, wherever you are at. But this camera, as you can see by my examples, allows you to capture the emotion of the game, people's faces, the sweat coming off of them, just the overall intensity of the game, like you're on the court, field, or rink, but you're not actually on the court, field, or rink. You are far away. Now, because this is a 70-200, it can be not the easiest to remain stable when you're zoomed all the way in, but it takes skill and just practice, and you guys will get that steady hand. And those two are my favorite things. So if you are thinking about this lens and using this lens, renting it or buying it for one of those things, you need to. Here are some oddball things that I've used this lens for. I've used it for music videos. I've used it for music lyric videos. One of my favorite things, and I think this was the selling point for me with this lens, was I got asked, shout out to Lily, to photographer a Little Mermaid play. This was definitely a fun experience, although it was very hot in the building. It was an awesome experience because it was their dressing rehearsal. It felt like the whole play was just for me. But I was about 5-6 rows deep, maybe even 10 rows deep into the audience. And you guys can see right here the images that I was able to capture with this lens. And when I tell you the lighting was awful, at the moment when I was in there, it was awful. And I was still able to capture these beautiful pictures, which leads me kind of to my next point of how great this camera lens is in low light. Now, when it comes to low light situations, I can bump my ISO all the way up to in the 20,000s when I'm at a reception sometimes and the lighting sucks. And you still see little to no grain. And honestly, I've been so impressed on how well this has been able to do in low light settings. Now I'm gonna be overlaying some pictures that I took in really crappy lighting, and you could just see that they still came out fantastic. Now, definitely lighting is very important, but in some situations, like in this play that I did for The Little Mermaid, you don't have any control of the lighting. And not having control of the lighting is a very scary thing as a photographer, and this lens is definitely a way to cover your behind. And when it comes to low lighting, this lens is definitely it. It's kind of crazy. Like, if you guys have ever been to Wildwood, you know like how weird it is seeing like literally absolutely nobody here. That ride right there is a log flume that I absolutely love. Yeah, I'm just kind of taking you guys on a little behind the scenes of where I am right now. Like, these tilt-a-whirls are, I guess, getting repainted or reconstructed, no idea. It is an absolute ghost town right now, but it's making me so excited for the summer. And can I mention how hard it is to actually carry around this big tripod to film myself around with this book bag and everything? It ain't easy carrying this. I need to get me a camera bag where I can carry my tripod. I hope you guys do like these more vlog style videos. Teaching you guys. We are gonna do a little bit of a comparison between my wide angle, which is a 17-28mm, with this Sony 70-200. So that way you guys can see the quality difference and the zoom difference of this lens versus just a regular 17-28 lens. All right, so I'm gonna put my camera on a tripod, switch from both lenses, and just show you guys the difference between the two lenses. All right, so we are now zoomed in on the pillars. Want to show you guys the difference between this lens and my other lens, and I'm gonna keep it on a tripod, so I am not changing distance at all, so you guys can see actually how far away this is. So now if I zoom out all the way, we are now at 70mm on this Sony lens, shooting at f2.8. It does cover a long range of distance, and it keeps the quality fantastically. So now we're gonna switch over to my Tamron 17-28 wide to show you guys exactly how far away we really are. But you could really see the difference of zoom, this lens versus the other one. So I just kind of wanted to show them side by side, and I thought that would be really helpful for you guys to see how far you can actually zoom. Now, it is starting to get a little bit chilly and a little bit windy, so I think we are gonna go head home, but it is actually crazy seeing everything closed down here. Now, I know it's the off season and all, but like, there is absolutely nobody really on this boardwalk. Now, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video on the Sony 70-200 f2.8 G Master lens here in Wildwood, New Jersey. I'm standing in the busiest part of the boardwalk. I actually can't believe there's not a soul around. This is kind of nice to have this all to ourselves, because in the summertime, as you guys will see when I upload videos to this channel, you will see how crowded this gets. Thank you guys again for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy it at any time, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you guys would like to see me do next. And until next time, see you guys later.